Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Paul Leo Jr. And in today's video, I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about just getting off of coffee. And I know it sounds, oop, I'm shaking my desk here. I know um, it sounds really insignificant. Uh, but long story short, I noticed for me personally, and I've been drinking coffee on a regular basis for over since high school. So well over 16 years, 17 years. And I know people who've been drinking coffee for, obviously longer than that, and to get them through the day, and then drinking energy drinks and so forth. So the good thing is I cut out energy drinks a while ago because I noticed how overstimulating it was. And then I started to notice that I was becoming sensitive to coffee. Um, Even though I absolutely love it, love the taste, love everything about it. But it was, I wasn't enjoying it anymore. It was just becoming, um, it was just a staple. It was just something that, as soon as I woke up, I made a cup of coffee, grab a coffee in the middle of the day, and then at the end of the night, have a cup of coffee and so forth. So, really, now I'm not even sure what I'm going to put in the title of this video, but really what I want to do is just explain what caffeine has really does to a person's brain um, in general. And before I even start with that, if you are even remotely prone to anxiety and stress, like caffeine is a huge no-go, especially energy drinks, and then right under that, definitely coffee, no question. Um, the biggest thing that caffeine does is it actually increases your stress hormones. Uh, I would say that's probably the second biggest thing it does. The first biggest thing it does is it interferes with your GABA receptors, and you basically have these two main. Well, you obviously have a ton of receptors within your brain, but you have GABA and then you have glutamate. And glutamate is so GABA is the one that helps calm you down. It's part of the parasympathetic nervous system and so forth. So that's the whole system that you know, helps chill you out, makes you feel happy, makes you feel calm and light, and all that good stuff. And caffeine actually, and glutamate is basically the exact opposite of that. So caffeine actually interferes with the GABA production in your in your brain, and that's definitely a very undesirable feeling. So obviously, insomnia and all that fun stuff, and then just having it as that crutch, any caffeine just in general to get you through the day is just, I mean, on a very lower tier, is still a drug, and that your brain becomes accustomed to that, and it's saying, okay, we need this in order to function. So we need this coffee, this energy drink, whatever it is, this 5 hour, whatever it is, just to function throughout the day, and which is totally bogus. Um, so it's just like the first time that you tried something else and it was amazing, and then as you keep going along, you're like, what the hell is going on? So I noticed for me, like I said, it became very overstimulating. Um, I was just feeling really off, like really like high. Like I would just get like these really weird highs, and then, um, but I wouldn't crash. It was really bizarre. So what I did, I'm definitely not a cold turkey person anymore. I don't. I've tried it. I used to be a while ago, and I believe that if your mindset is so strong and so just intent on doing something, that you're gonna do it. But it has to be that desire has to be so amazingly powerful that when you say I'm done, you're done. The switch is all the switch just turns off and you're good to go. So, uh, but anyway, going now, I just lost my thought process. So, oh, okay. So we're going into. So I don't like doing anything cold turkey. Um, I feel as though for really anything as far as of what you're trying to, um, cut ties with, that are having some sort of negative impact, um, within your body and so forth, that it should be done in a healthier manner through a tapering process. And even something like caffeine, which is on, like I said, which seems like it's on a very lower level, um, but is still extremely addictive. Um, what I did was I started out at, of course, I was drinking 100% caffeinated coffee, but then I actually just went from that to, for one whole week, I did 75% caffeine and then 25% decaf. Tried that. I was like, okay, not too bad, So, and then going on into the second week, it was 50-50. So that was easier to to level out. And then, because I could go to my local Dunkin' Donuts and say, can I get half of this, half decaf, half regular? And then the third week it was 75% decaf and then 25% caffeine. And then was actually noticing a little bit of a difference as far as, not getting the headaches that I was getting when I was quitting when I would stop drinking caffeine cold turkey. So after the 75% decaf to 100% decaf, um, it's only been a couple days now, um, but there's definitely been like a really weird, like noticeable difference. And there isn't anything else going on that I could say, okay, it's this or that and so forth. So the one thing that I've noticed as far as, let's say, whatever it is, I'm trying to think of an example. Let's just say somebody pisses you off, whether you're driving, whether somebody says something, and then your amygdala goes all crazy and you start getting that rush of cortisol and all that. I noticed that the recovery time of that, the window, was slowly becoming shorter and shorter and shorter. So as far as like how long I'd be, like revved up for, it got a lot lower, or the time span became a lot shorter, which is very beneficial. And it just became shorter automatically. Like I didn't even have to consciously do anything. It just was like, okay, we're back to where we need to be. And I noticed before that it would last a little bit longer if something like that did happen. So the biggest thing, like caffeine messes with your neurotransmitters, like I said, especially Gaba, which is the one thing you do not want to play around with Gaba receptors, especially like I said, if you are prone to any kind of if you're prone to stress and prone to anxiety and so forth. You do not want this. You do not want to have caffeine as um, your crutch to go to. Definitely not. Absolutely not. So, like I said, it increases stress hormones. So what you're doing is increasing cortisol and a little bit of adrenaline. So you're kind of getting into it's really weird because you get into like a fight or flight mode. But since caffeine does release a little bit of dopamine, like it feels kind of good. So you're up, but you like feel not not euphoric, but you know what I mean. Just whatever that is, that energized feeling. But it's not a clear feeling. It's a very fast-paced feeling. So and I really got tired of feeling like that. So and like I said, the tapering process, as far as anything that needs to be resolved, whatever the case may be, and this is just from my personal experience, whether it be medication, whether it just be something like caffeine, things you need to cut out, even if it was like sugar and things like that, is starting to do it gradually. So that's always the most beneficial way if you are not like 100% motivated and dedicated. Like, okay, I'm just gonna do it right now and so forth, and then you're like, screw this. So because your condition patterns just start taking over. But that's why tapering and doing things through a gradual process is so much better and so much easier because your brain slowly adjusts, you know, to whatever you're trying to taper off of, as you're doing it slowly. So that's the best thing that I found. So at the moment, I'm just drinking decaf coffee just because I still like the taste, and um, so now the plan is to just stop drinking the decaf coffee altogether. So at least the caffeine is out of the way. The only time like it would be luckily I don't eat a lot of I don't eat a lot of garbage. I don't eat any snacks or like candy or anything like that. Um, I would say like the most caffeine that I get right now would be if I take an Excedrin or if every once in a while I have a soda, and if I do grab a soda, um, I would typically prefer to grab Sprite, even though it's loaded with sugar, but at least doesn't have caffeine. But anyway, yeah, so um, that's just a very simple, very easy process to do. And what I have is the refillable Keurig. So I would just kind of gauge where I was at. So the first week was like I said, 25% decaf, 75% caffeinated, and then second week 50-50. A lot easier to measure out. And then third week was 25% caffeinated coffee, and 75% decaf coffee, and then right to 100% decaf. And I'm telling you that first day on 100% decaf was absolutely like there was definitely something going on where like my like a little bit of like my fog was kind of it was like coming out of like a fog a little bit. It's really weird. So and then it's been going like back and forth and so forth. And that seems like I don't do a ton of reading because you don't want to go down a rabbit hole and like what's going to happen if I stop doing this, but I did do a little bit and so forth, and it seems very normal. So and there was even a lot of suggestions about tapering off of coffee, which sounds really weird, but I feel is necessary to help get your system back to a state of homeostasis and be balanced. So anything that could even has the potential and I know that obviously some people are more sensitive than others, as far as having stimulants and so forth. And I still have other things that I would love to get rid of. And when I do decide I'm gonna taper, just gonna say I'm not just gonna do a cold turkey and just put myself through hell. I think that's insane. I think that would be idiotic. So you don't want any shocks to your system. You don't want to just like that. Like I said, unless that mindset is just so there, and it's like either it's become like an absolute necessity, or you just have this just amazing willpower where whatever you can just shut off, you can turn that switch off in your brain, and say no, I'm done, and that's it. Then go for it. As long as you won't experience any strong repercussions from doing that. So in general, I would go with the tapering process. Like I said, I use the refillable Keurig. Uh, if you're still using the old school coffee pot, when you're filling up the filter, the coffee filter, then you can just measure it out and so forth. But that was just done in a month, so that took you know that just took 4 weeks to completely get off of caffeinated coffee. Like I said, I don't touch energy drinks whatsoever, and if I do have any caffeine that enters my system, is either from Excedrin or from like the occasional soda, um, or drinking some kind of tea, which is nowhere nearly as concentrated as a cup of coffee or definitely nowhere even close, remotely close to an energy drink. So, yeah, you don't want to mess with cortisol. You don't want to mess with epinephrine. You don't want to mess with GABA with your GABA receptors. And if you do take any medications, you definitely don't want to mess with caffeine because supposedly it interacts with like with over a hundred different kinds of medications. So yeah, so this is just my big fu to coffee or to caffeine in general. So especially the coffee, and then the caffeinated coffee. So I'm just drinking decaf. I feel like an alcoholic, like drinking O'Doul's right now. So the non-alcohol, the non-alcohol, alcoholic beverage. So, but yeah, that's really it. Like I said, it only takes a couple weeks, and the benefits, I'm sure, are going to outweigh anything that caffeine has ever done for me. So where you get to that point where you're just like, I'm done with this. I'm done with this garbage, whatever it is. So yeah, good luck to anyone. This was just some random rant video that I wanted to make for whatever reason. I always have a little checklist of videos that I want to do and so forth. But if you have been watching the videos, if you have even made it this far into the video, I have a new webcam, um, and it's, you tell me, because when I uploaded the last video of me, I think for the last gift card giveaway, this webcam killed it. I mean, it was just way better than, it's not a 4K cam, but it was just so much better than my last one. So, and I'll put the link in the description. Hard drive, I have this, like, I have 4 hard drives in here and one just skipped. So I don't know if it just skipped on the video too. I think it did. But yeah, that's really all I have. You do not need caffeine to function whatsoever. And yeah, like I said, if you do that tapering process, you don't get the headaches like you do when you quit cold turkey. You don't fiend for it as much. So, yeah, don't play. I wouldn't play around with caffeine at all. So, like I said, if you are an avid caffeine drinker, then I would say consider getting tapering off of it. If you just are the occasional one, then I don't even know why the hell you're watching this video. But yeah, I'm really done with anything that's gonna mess with me feeling, calm and relaxed and so forth. So let me get that crap out of my system. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to check out the merchandise. And like I said, I'm going to put a link in the description for this Logitech webcam that I got. And that's it. Why am I still talking? Later.